So then Jesus says, very blatantly, which of you convinceth me of sin? So he's saying, which one of you can accuse me of sin? And guess what they did? They didn't say a single word. They couldn't convince him of sin. No one could accuse Jesus of sin. It was all false accusations if there was any, and no one could do it. Then he says, and if I say the truth, why do ye not believe me? So he's saying, I'm telling you the truth. You need to believe me. Why don't you guys believe me, right? And he says in verse 47, he that is of God heareth God's words. Ye therefore hear them not, because ye are not of God. So he's saying, you're not of God. And that's the thing too, is like people couldn't be of God, right? Because the Holy Spirit didn't actually seal anyone yet. It didn't enter into people. The Holy Spirit was moving around, I'm sure, but no one actually had the Holy Spirit and accepted the Holy Spirit into their hearts because Jesus didn't die yet. They couldn't believe that he died for the atonement of their sins to accept that gift of salvation, right? Which we know when we accept that gift, we receive the Holy Spirit. So he's saying, you are not of God. And so he's saying, you are not of God, and you hear not my words, because my words are from God, and you are not of God. So he's saying, you're of the devil. He's saying that specifically to these Jews that want to kill him, and that want to try to catch him in these accusations, want to accuse him. But yeah, I'm sure the Holy Spirit was moving at that time, but they couldn't heed to it. They couldn't accept it into their hearts, and so they were still in this hardened heart mode. And we see that, and I think it's Ezekiel 36 when he says, I will put a new heart within you. That hasn't happened yet because the Holy Spirit hasn't gone out after Jesus died, because we know that when Jesus died, he said, I will leave you a comforter. We're going to read that later on. And that comforter is the Holy Spirit, which will enter us and save us. That is what seals our salvation and helps us get the understanding. So they didn't really understand what Jesus was saying, but Jesus was still illustrating that to them. So when they received the Spirit, they would understand. But some people choose to reject him, not because of lack of understanding, but because they didn't want to believe in who he was. They wanted to believe in their false notion of who he was. And so they wanted to reject him, even though he was the king that they were promised. And so he's saying here, like, you are not of God, you are of the devil.